Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Patrick Kay.
Oh, and Matt Foxley.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod.
I've been playing Grow Home.
How are you finding that?
Absolutely in love with that game. It's just so cool.
I saw you taking loads of screenshots.
Yeah. It's really really beautiful game, and it's another
What's
one.
the mechanic? Because it's the mechanic, isn't it? That's like unique.
It's growing. It's just growing things. It's actually really weird. I built a prototype in Unity about 6 months back, which was really similar to this game.
Yeah,
and it's actually similar in aesthetics as well. And my game was about growing plants in a desert, and this is about growing. This is about growing plants to get higher up in the level, which is what my game did as well, which is really quite spooky. But yeah, and essentially Grow Home, you climb onto these. It's basically a physics game. So you've got this kind of wobbly little robot, and he can climb up plants, and he can. When he climbs onto a plant, if he sort of activates one of the buds, that bud will grow, and then it will sort of pull him along in the level, and then that unlocks further buds, so he can actually control the direction in which the plant grows. So you start off with just one tiny plant at the bottom, but by a few hours, you've got like this gigantic plant with all sorts of branches, and they're all different depending on which way you've grown it.
Looks really gnarly in places, like what you can create, sort of thing.
It looks crazy.
Yeah, it's quite trippy looking. So it's a physics game, and it's a lot of that is about sort of climbing up these plants and sort of trying not to wobble and fall off, which is quite hard. You've got little leaf parachutes. You sort of pick up these leaves, and they will sort of last for a few like a small amount of time that allow you to sort of glide to every areas. As you collect these little crystals in the game, you unlock other abilities, like you get a little jet boost, so you can do a little rocket pack boost when you're flying around. But it's basically just a very kind of relaxing, trippy, kind of psychedelic grow 'em up, basically. So no like violence, no shooting anything. But yeah, it's just really a really lovely experience.
Have you finished it?
No, I haven't finished it yet, and I've played it.
Oh, there is an end then. There's an end. There's a storyline.
I think you eventually just grow the plant to the maximum capacity, I believe. But yeah, I've been playing it sort of 3 evenings, I think. So it's taken me a while, but it's just one of those games that you can play as quickly or as slowly as possible. I think you can actually like complete it in a few hours. But if you just play it as a kind of trippy, relaxing experience, it's a bit different. But yeah, it's really, really, really sweet, and I do recommend it if you fancy something a bit different. And it was in the Humble Bundle, Ubisoft Humble Bundle.
Oh right, yeah. Okay. I haven't bitten on that. I nearly did the idiot like Division pre-order. But I there was, luckily, I can't believe I'm saying it, I was saved by a Steam sale last week.
Well,
so
I've actually signed up to the Humble monthly.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I got Ark. So I've been playing a bit of Ark as well.
Although playing Ark.
Yeah, although I've been mainly playing the graphic setting. Been mainly playing the graphic settings.
Oh right, oh really?
Yeah, but yeah, that's a really, really interesting game as well. I haven't played it long enough to really... We'll talk about
this later, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, no, we can talk about it now if you like, unless you have more to say about Grow Home.
No, just that it's a really lovely game, and you should try it.
No, cool. Yeah, and even if you don't get it in the Humble Bundle, it's super cheap. It's $5.99.
It looks fun
at the moment.
It looks completely mental. The graphics are kind of cute.
I think I'm going to re-add it to my Steam list. I think it
looks different as well. I mean, growing these massive plants. I'm just watching a YouTube thing of it, and it looks like the trailer looks pretty good, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
And is that VR as well? Or
no, it's just.
Would it work in VR?
Don't see why not.
Yeah, it's like third person. I imagine that would be useful, being able to have that kind of one-to-one, being able to look around and stuff without having to...
That's why I built my prototype. Because I wanted to see what like a third-person game, how the camera could work in a third-person game. So in my one, you were climbing up a tower, but the tower was around the player. So you were on the inside of the tower. Yeah. And as he climbed up, you'd look around. And I did actually take the camera movement away, but only enough that it wasn't sort of disorientated. It wouldn't make you feel sick, but it would essentially allow you to kind of turn a corner with a head movement. So you'd follow it just naturally, as if you would normally if it was, in real life. But if you did a head movement beyond a certain angle, it would essentially like turn around a corner. And it would do it very quickly, so it didn't, it wasn't going to make you feel sick or anything. And it didn't use acceleration, so it didn't make you feel sick. So that was why I did it, basically, just to work out how to do it. But that's going to be really cool for third-person platformers and, just third-person stuff in general. Like, it's quite a cool tool for navigating those kind of games.
Yeah, just like camera control, like
exactly.
When you don't want it to be an effort,
with no finger. Yeah, it's camera control with no actual abstract tool use. It's just moving your head. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
I just wanted to mention XCOM 2. I got XCOM 2. I loved the first XCOM. So this is the sequel. So how is it better? Well, the big thing they've added is the character pool, which I sent you a screenshot of you that I made up with the headset on. But basically the idea is that the character pool is like this sort of separate thing. So they've really kind of upped the options in terms of character customization. It's not like a Bethesda game, like where there's like loads and loads of options, but there's quite a lot of variation. You can really kind of make analogues of all your mates in it. And so a lot of like PC Gamer and Total Biscuit, they've made their own character pools full of people they know and characters from Star Wars and stuff. And you can just basically add them all into your character pool. And it's not like you can just import these characters as like skins that you can put in your squad like manually. You can actually define what those people are. So you can say they're a VIP, so they'll only show up as like an assassination target or someone you have to rescue. Right. But then they'll join your team and you can give them a role. And so it just means that, like, for example, your character that I made, he might show up as someone I can just recruit from the black market or the resistance headquarters, but also equally, I could rescue you or take you captive or something. So it's all about the XCOM has always been about creating narrative out of mechanics, really. There's an overarching, the first game was Alien Invasion. This one, as I've mentioned multiple times on the show before, the conceit is that you lost the first game, so you're now like the Resistance, and so what you're doing is you're going around the planet trying to build up a resistance to take back the Earth. So that's pretty cool. But as for the actual like turn-based combat bit, which is the main part of the game, it's fucking hard. It's really hard. It really isn't messing about. There were these enemy types called the sectoids in the first game, and they were these little fucking free hit point alien greys, basically, and they could boost their mates, and I think there was some later on that could do mind control, but these ones, they have more than double the amount of hit points, and They can do mind control. They can reanimate dead corpses. So like you could end up in a situation where you end up getting murdered by your squad mates and stuff. So it's really quite grim. But yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of game you go for, Pat. It's very much just kind of like a board game, really.
Yeah. I've heard people say like this is like the ultimate sequel. Like it's how you do a sequel.
Yeah, well it feels like a whole new game because I've been playing the original on my phone, and I was getting kind of fast and loose with it. My guys were quite powerful.
I actually really liked the first one.
Oh, did you? I didn't even know you played it.
No, totally. I actually really enjoyed the first one, but board games and games based around board games are something I actually really want to play more of. Would you say that XCOM is like one of the ultimate of that type of game?
Yeah, it's definitely the best one I've played, and I've played a few games like it over the past year. I've played RPGs with turn-based combat, but this is more. It's just you're just making like it's almost overwhelming when you start playing it because you're sort of saying like you've kind of got a clear directive and you're going right. Okay, I need to go over there and do that mission there. That's my primary directive. You're doing that, and then it says, "Oh, Commander, we've discovered this UFO landed over here, and we need you to do this now." So you're halfway through doing that thing, and something else has then interrupted that. So you're sort of overwhelmed with options, and you're making so many interesting decisions, and then all of a sudden you find yourself going into into one of the actual missions where you're doing like the turn-based combat, and the way that the technology ramps up. So like you get, as you take down the aliens, you research their corpses, and normally each one will give you 2 or 3 different new things you can build.
Right.
And it just kicks your ass, absolutely. So when you actually succeed, it's super satisfying because you're like, okay, I'm getting it now. I'm really getting it because, like it almost feels unfair sometimes. And also because the way that XCOM's kind of intended to be played, is, they always encourage you to play it with like Iron Man mode, which is where it's always constantly auto-saving, so you can't really stick your finger in the page and see how things play out. You really have to commit to every decision you make. And what they've done is they haven't got an Iron Man mode in this, but auto-save is on by default. Right. So it's like you can do a hard save. Like if you've just got through like half a mission, you're like, oh right, this is going really sweet. You can save it then, and I've had to. Like, I mean, because I've been playing the original on Iron Man mode, just because I'm playing it on my phone, I don't really give a fuck what happens. Yeah. It's like I'll just start it again if I die. But with this, it's like I'm playing at home, I'm playing it properly. I want to actually beat the game. Yeah. I'm not being quite as mental.
Playing it on easy.
No, I'm playing it on normal.
I played XCOM and I put it on hard, and that's probably why it was driving me mad.
Yeah, well, the big complaint, and you were saying, I remember you complaining about the game, saying, "Oh yeah, I've just got loads of snipers and I'm just doing Overwatch all the time."
Yep,
you can't really play this one.
Everything.
Yeah,
it was so easy.
Yeah, but they've taken all of that on board with this one, and they've made it so you can't do that, because what they've done a lot on some missions is there's timers, so you've only got like 8 rounds to get the thing, and then
you have to move forward, then
so it constantly keeps you moving. So
well, I mean, that's part of the gameplay for me, is breaking it, as in I mean, the XCOM one, I made loads of snipers and they were all crack shots, and I used to kill everything. It just by an Overwatch, I didn't do anything. I killed them on their move, and then I'd move on my move.
Well, one of the enemies in the original was called the Fin Man, and they were like these dudes in suits, and they were very fast, and they did like poison and stuff. Now, in this game, the fiction is you're seeing them in their true form, so they're basically these snake men, and they will come along and they will basically pull you through a building to where they are, out of cover. So you're like, you could have your sniper there, like on a roof, and he'll just pull you off.
Yeah, but my other 4 snipers would sniper him because they're on Overwatch.
Yeah, but then you're not moving quick enough, and you'll fail the mission.
I don't know. It used to work. If I get XCOM 2, which I probably will do, probably in a Steam sale or something.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't got time to pump into it at the moment. It's a massive game, isn't it? I've seen you playing it, and it looks like it's good fun.
Oh, you saw me the other night playing it, and you were like, man, you're like in your element. I was just like, oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think I suggested something, and then you did it, and then it all went wrong when I came back a bit later.
Yeah, I had saved it recently, so I thought, what the hell, I'll do what you say.
Yeah, it all kind of went horribly wrong.
But it was going, like the first mission, I was just like, oh, this is hilarious. Like, I just totally died. Like, immediately. In fact, I shadow played it. I was so sort of, I don't know, I just found it hilarious how difficult the game was all of a sudden.
Pat, you'd like this. There's a it's not, I don't think it's a spoiler, there's a creature in it, that basically can do this mind thing.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
And you mentioned that, okay, and it does it from a distance, and I mean, that's just horrible. That's like, what? How can, I mean, you did say to me that you can get different stuff to put on your characters to stop that happening. Yeah,
you can research like a mind field thing, and it will
so it blocks ESP,
and it will block it. But that's a slot that you can't have like a flak jacket or health or a grenade. And grenades are really important in this game because it's guaranteed damage. The damage output on the first lot of guns you get is quite low, so there's a chance, and especially when you've got a sectoid with like 9 hit points or whatever, it's going to take 2 guys to attack it, to take him down. And every round that thing's up is a round that it could be reanimating a dead body or taking control of one of you. Like, it's really evil.
And how do you normally kill them?
I just flank them and take them out as quickly as possible. Or with grenades.
Or sniper?
It depends if you've got sharpshooter. I've got one sharpshooter.
See, I'm already thinking of a build, you see, just from what you're telling me. I just have to ESP all of my snipers, sniper them all up, and then have them so they're super quick, so I can get across the map fast. And then if I keep them in their little formations, so they're always covering each other with Overwatch, then how can I fail?
Yeah, well, like, basically, all the classes have been overhauled. You can train up. You can train up recruits to be specific classes you want. It was a bit randomised in the first one.
Yeah. I remember
so that's quite cool. And
I love the friends thing, though. I mean, I did kill all my friends quite repeatedly.
Yeah, that is the big thing about XCOM, is making up your mates and seeing them get horribly murdered or murdering each other.
I got attached to them though as well. I really did get attached to them because I was like, no way, he's like leveled up like sergeant or lieutenant or something.
Yeah, and then they die.
I think I even came and told you when you died. I came up and said to you, Rob, and said like, oh my god, your guy just died, just completely just got just destroyed. He's not coming back anymore. That was it. He was like dead.
Yeah, so the thing is, though, I've put so many people in this character pool. I've got all of Total Biscuits guys. I've got PC Gamer did a bunch. All the developers of the game. I just turned them all on. So I think because you guys are at the bottom of the list, I don't know when you're going to show up, but it's a massive game and it will take me ages. So
that'd be cool, though. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Well, and there's going to be plenty more casualties. Like if I get a mission and only 2 of my squad die, that's a success. That's fine. I'll carry on. But even if it's a high ranking,
mortality rate then.
Well, even if it's a high ranking, I'll be like, well, fuck it. It's worth, it was worth the sacrifice.
You're a horrible general.
Yeah, I'm awful.
You're an evil general. He's a killing officer.
Yeah, leave them all behind. I don't really care. Thing is, you can carry wounded guys now, but I think I did a mission and I thought if
you're never going to do that.
If I carried my I think it's if they're made unconscious, because there's these guys that run up to you with like stun batons and they'll like make your dudes unconscious. I think if you pick them up and take them to the evac point, they'll still be around. Like, so you can actually save them even when they're taken out of the game. But I think if they're dead, they're dead. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. They're gone.
Because you've got little bots as well that can revive unconscious people as well. So there's so many options. Great game.
Well, that's the thing. You can put together whatever squad you like. That's what I said. I'm not breaking the game by doing all snipers.
No.
You could do all robots. You know what I mean, or all sorts of stuff. That's what's great about it. You can do the way you want to do it. And sometimes that's what I said. The last one was, I did kind of break it a bit, but I think they've kind of changed it since then and made it a lot harder.
Well, they've just rebalanced it and made it a bit more challenging. And if you're going to do I think it's just the best way of doing a sequel. Really, is to take everything that people enjoyed, but mix it up a bit and make it new and fresh.
Yeah, totally.
So it's totally worth doing. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya!
See ya.
No booty. My friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck. I suck at